Good morning. It's a bit nippy this morning. It was raining early and it's setting for rain this afternoon. Like I say, it's a bit cold. We had a lovely sunrise this morning. I'll put that up so you can see it. So today I want to talk about risk, hazards and dangers and how we can manage that as backpackers or hikers. But first, there's something I forgot yesterday about improving morale, and that is sleep and recovery. If you're not getting good quality sleep, then that's going to affect your morale. If all your timings are all screwed up, it's going to affect your morale. And if you're not taking time out to recover your body, stretching, elevating your feet, laying down as much as possible to get the body to recover, eating plenty of protein to get the muscles back built up again, ready for the next day. If you're not doing the correct things for your body, you're not going to recover very well. So I just wanted to mention that from improving morale. And today I want to talk about risk, and yet again I have a few notes that I've been thinking about, a few little bullet points. So if you're in work or you've been to work, there's a good chance that you've been on some sort of health and safety course to keep you and your work colleagues safe from dangers and hazards. Well, when we go hiking, it's the same sort of principles of keeping you and any colleagues or anybody around you safe from any hazards and dangers. So, risk and risk control. So mainly what we're going to be encountering is bad weather, the terrain, different types of terrain, whether it's loose scree, scrambling, snow and ice, and also animals. Now I include insects and humans in this animals, with wasps, bees, clegs, mosquitoes and midges all chucked into that one title. So we just need to look at all of those things as potential hazards and what the dangers are. So a hazard then is potential. We need to look at potentially the weather could be bad. What can we put in place? How can we mitigate the risks to prevent us being impacted by bad weather? If we're traversing across a snow slope, what can we put in place to mitigate the hazards and the dangers of slipping and falling? There's no point having crampons or microspikes and an ice axe if the ice axe is still attached to the back of your bag when you do the traverse, because you can't be bothered to get it off, or you don't know how to use it. Which is, I saw that quite a lot on the PCT. People wandering across a snow slope without getting their ice axe out. One slip and they've gone, and that's it. And you're not going to stop without an ice axe. So yeah, so it's education, learning, having the correct equipment and knowing how to use it. So the dangers are the active threat. You always got the hazards, but all of a sudden we've got an active threat. We're scrambling up a little sort of nodule of rock. It's wet, it's slippery. You've got the wrong shoes on, you've got trail runners on rather than a stiff-soled boot, and it's likely you're going to slip and maybe fall, slide down the rocks 6 feet, maybe twist an ankle, fall over and break a leg, or worse. So it's the active threat, and we just need to understand how, and you do it with experience. You do these things automatically. So risk is the chance, the probability of harm in the whatever activity you're taking and the environment that you're living in. Now, you may have the wrong equipment, or you may lose some equipment. Maybe you've slipped and the ice axe you had in your hand has fallen out because you've not had a leash on it, and so it's gone. So what potentially is a hazard? You've got a physical hazard. We've got horses in the field here. If they didn't want me in that field, if I walked through it, there's a good chance they could come over and give me a good kicking. Cows are a big one. Walking through a field of cows with young, if there's a bull in the field with cows and young, don't go in the field. Find a way around it, mitigate that risk of being attacked. Dogs, biggish dogs that are not on a lead, not in control, and take immediate dislike to you. That's not very pleasant. I've had that happen quite a few times. There's not much you can do about it other than putting a barrier between you and them. The biological and chemical. So bad water, drinking water from streams and rivers that is not clean. I've had norovirus about 4 times, and that's always come from bad water. Norovirus lasts for about 11, 12 days, comes out of both ends, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't hike on it, you've just got to sit it out, or sit very near a toilet for that period of time. Chemicals, bug spray is a good one for chemicals, that you're spraying this stuff on you, and you know, it's not very good for you or the skin or the environment, and you're washing it off into rivers and things like that. So that's sort of your chemical side of things. Ergonomics, if you've got poor posture, or your rucksack is the wrong type of rucksack, let's say it's an ultralight pack without a hip belt, and you've overloaded it, it's not going to sit very well on your back, and you're going to have problems carrying it, and like your back muscles or your leg muscles are not going to like it, and you're going to get issues. It may even cause plantar fasciitis or shin splints, because you've not taken care in getting the correct equipment, or you're carrying far too much gear and you're struggling to carry it all because you're not used to it. Equipment, again, equipment failure, improper use of the equipment, and inadequate preparation, which is something similar to what I've already said. All going to be hazardous if you are using an inappropriate tent in an environment that it's not designed for. For instance, the Z-Packs tents that are designed for ultralight backpacking, of which I have one, are designed for use in the desert, really, where there's not going to be a lot of rain, not going to be a lot of wind, and you can find somewhere out of the way. If you go to Scotland with it, or the Lake District with it, and you're camping on top and a gale comes in, it's not going to be your best shelter. It's going to be shelter, but it's not going to be your best shelter. And psychological, again, this is what prompted me with the sleep thing this morning. If your lack of sleep, you're not having enough good quality sleep, it's going to affect you psychologically. If you're under a lot of stress because of the environment, and you know that your equipment isn't very good, or you're in a situation where your skill levels are not adequate, or you're benighted, or you're with somebody that's causing you problems one way or another, it's going to impact on your hazards. Anxiety, burnout and depression. Burnout, remember I said rest and recovery. I find that I can hike for about 9-10 days and then I need a day off. I do like to have a half day before and a half day after. So maybe arriving in town at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, getting some jobs done, having some food, then going to the accommodation, staying there for a full day, resting, not doing very much, eating, drinking, resting, recovering, doing laundry, doing resupply, and then leaving not early in the morning the next day, but maybe mid-morning after a good rest, and then getting back on trail nice and fresh. So it's taking these things into consideration and understanding what hazards you've got, what dangers are associated with those hazards, and what risks, and how you can mitigate the risks around the hazards and the dangers. And the mitigation comes to proper gear, making sure that your gear is suitable for the environment that you're going to be walking through. For instance, if you're going hiking through the desert and you've only got a 1 litre water bag bottle, because that's what you normally use back in Britain, you're not going to have enough capacity. I carried 5 litres through the desert section that I walked, and some people had enough for 8 litres, just in case. It's really important that you know what your environment is. There's not a lot of point carrying water in Scotland unless you're doing a long ridge walk where there is no water, because there's water abundant everywhere. You also need to get experience and skills. Like I've mentioned before, when I did John O'Groats to Land's End and my Munro journey, went out into the Yorkshire Dales for long weekends with the equipment I was going to be taking and using it and making sure that I knew how to use it, and putting it through its paces and me through its paces, so I knew how it all worked and made whatever tweaks that I needed to make. And that also goes with food as well. If you buy packet evening meals, freeze-dried meals, and you buy a load and then you realise that you really don't like this particular flavour, and you've wasted all that time, all that money, and you really don't want to eat it, which knocks on your morale. So testing these things before you actually go out and do it. Decision making. Have a good decision making, or make sure that you know how you understand your elephant and your rider understands how you're making decisions. There is no point pushing your elephant to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning when it really doesn't want to do that. Okay, so getting the elephant and the rider working together to make sure that the correct decisions are being made for you, your equipment, and the environment that you're walking through. And rest and recovery, I've already mentioned that. I'm making sure you've got good rest. You're stretching, elevating your feet, laying down as much as possible, keeping out of the midday sun if you can. Even, you know, in Scotland, when it can be red hot during the day, try and keep out of it for a few hours while it's really bad. And keeping warm at night, that sort of thing. Okay, bit of a mumbo jumbo there, but we'll move on to the next thing. Until next time, happy hiking.